When people believe that they need to spend more time in the gym, it makes me chuckle inside because that's simply not the case at all. This was me when I was training 6 to 7 days a week and I was spending 2 to 3 hours in the gym per session, right? And now this is me training 3 to 4 times a week over the last 2 to 3 years, may I also add, spending anywhere from 35 minutes at my busiest times to 60 to 65 minutes in the gym at the absolute max. And obviously, I may run over a little bit from time to time. However, I now spend an equal or maybe a tiny bit more time in the gym now across 4 sessions than I used to in 1 session per week. And through doing that, I've been able to gain heaps of lean muscle. I've been able to get my bench press up to 315 pounds at the ripe age of 18 and achieve the dream physical outcome that I set out for when I started the gym. And obviously, as I've started a business, that really helps for this as well. The authority that the physique brings, the presence, the respect that it also demands, just simply because I take care of myself, right? And a lot of entrepreneurs tragically miss out on that because they feel that they have to spend X amount of time in the gym, or they feel like they have to spend more time in the gym than they actually do. Now, I completely understand why that is because, you may look at someone like Arnold Schwarzenegger who says, you got to train 6 times a week, you got to train twice a day with half an hour of cardio and 3 hours in the gym lifting weights, and then, you know, you can do that and it may give you results, but a lot of people forget that he was on gear and that was his full-time role, and that is a little hint of what I want to go over in this video. A perfect example of how you don't have to spend much time in the gym and more time in the gym was never the answer is Dorian Yates, right? In many ways, a massive inspiration to me, and I met him not too long ago as well, which was incredible, right? And very, very uplifting, inspiring, motivating. And this guy is highly regarded as one of the most intelligent guys in terms of putting on muscle and the science of muscle building. And he's highly regarded, in my eyes as well, as one of, if not the greatest bodybuilder of all time. And in other words, that means the greatest guy at putting on muscle in the history of mankind, right? And obviously, you can look at the fact that he was blasting loads of gear and he was blasting loads of steroids, right? However, he wouldn't have got the results he did if he wasn't as intelligent as he was with his methodology with building muscle, right? And in terms of his methodology, you may be asking, 3 to 4 sessions a week, less than 3 hours in the gym every single week. So you're now telling me, Ryan, that the greatest person at putting on muscle of all time spent less than 4 hours in the gym a week? Yes. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And one thing that I want to go over in this video that is even gonna confirm that to a much higher level is a misinterpretation of fitness that entrepreneurs have, right? So obviously, fitness is a lifestyle, right? What you do in the gym is a tiny fraction of how you're going to get in shape. How you eat in the gym matters. How you sleep, how you eat outside the gym matters. How you sleep matters. How you recover matters. All of these things matter so much, right? And the same thing applies in entrepreneurship, obviously. Like, it's all good working 12 hours a day, but, if you're eating McDonald's and you're feeding your mind with pure shit every day, then that's not going to help your work hours. It's a lifestyle. You've got to optimize to perform your best in those hours where you're at your desk. And just like fitness and just like bodybuilders or Dorian Yates, who I just named, the 24 hours, they optimize every single minute to perform the best they possibly can in the gym, right? And a common misbelief that entrepreneurs have is that they have to, if they want to get in shape, they have to do things like a bodybuilder, or they have to change their lifestyle from a pure entrepreneurial perspective to from optimizing how many hours they work to how many hours of those are quality to mental energy output, mental clarity, for making decisions and doing work to the best ability they possibly can, entrepreneurs think they have to go from their lifestyle being optimized for that, or from that, to optimizing for purely muscle building. But what most entrepreneurs don't realize is that there's different ways of integrating fitness into your life. Yes, there is that way of integrating fitness into your life of purely, optimizing the amount of hours you have in your life for just a muscle growth perspective. However, have you ever sort of thought about how you can integrate fitness into your life in a way which contributes towards helping you with business? Or have you thought about how fitness can actually be a tool to help you optimize even more for the hours that you're working? Have you even thought about it as a tool that can help you show up better, have more energy, be more positively minded, which can actually make you more money when you're working during your working hours of every day? This is what people don't realize. Fitness isn't a binary thing that can be done in one way. You can still put on muscle and you can still build your dream body, your dream physique, and, earn the confidence that you want to earn through being proud of what you've built, all whilst building a routine and doing it in a way which the biggest priority is to build your business, not to build muscle, but to build the business. And as a byproduct of that, you'll still build muscle anyway, and you'll still achieve the dream body you want. So that is a limiting belief that a lot of entrepreneurs don't realize. They think that fitness is binary, and what I mean by that is you've got to integrate it in one way in your life. You've got to eat 5 meals a day, you've got to spend 2 hours in the gym, or you've got to do whatever, and you've got to purely optimize for the hours you're in the gym. That's not the case at all, and you can integrate it in a way where muscle building isn't the main goal in your life, but business growth is, or maintaining family or relationships is, and you can still get in the best shape of your life. So there is a massive sort of limiting belief there. The point I'm trying to prove is, if someone who optimizes 24 hours in their day for their entire 12 years of their career, right? Eating 7 meals a day, sleeping for 10 hours a night, and then having multiple naps in a day. If that person, who is arguably the best person at putting muscle on at all time, spends less than 4 hours in the gym a week, what makes you think that you got to spend loads of time in the gym when muscle building isn't even going to be your primary goal, but you're using fitness as a tool to help you with your business? What makes you think you've got to spend loads of time in the gym from that perspective? Because you simply don't. And what I want to quickly go through with you guys is why spending loads of time in the gym isn't the way to do things, and especially if you're a busy entrepreneur. And this is coming from the perspective of someone who now spends less time in the gym a week than I used to spend in the gym in one session, and that was only a sixth of what I was doing, right? So the first thing is that if you have less time, your value per minute or your intention per minute is going to go through the roof, right? If you've only got 30 minutes in the gym to do, to drain the muscle, to work your muscle as hard as possible, you're not going to fuck about, right? But if you have 2 hours in the gym, or if you spend 2 hours in the gym a session, you're going to be on your phone, you can do whatever, you can have a chat with someone, you can sort of be a bit sort of lousy, a bit prancy, you can, you can poo about a little bit, essentially. And obviously, I know as a busy entrepreneur, you don't have that time anyway, but point proven, if you're in the gym for less time, then you're going to feel forced to, oh shit, I've got to get moving, right? And you're just going to do things relentlessly, you're going to push yourself as hard as possible, and, you may do less sets and less reps in the gym, which people may look at, okay, you got to do more, you got to give your muscle more, but if you've got less opportunities to grow, then you're going to make the fucking most of those opportunities, and you're going to push yourself so hard, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is that less time in the gym obviously means that you're going to have more time to work. It's as simple as that. I don't really need to say any more than that. The third thing is that you're going to be able to recover better, right? If you're in the gym less, then you're going to obviously give yourself more opportunity and more time to recover throughout the week. And if you're not aware of it already, just like giving your mind a break in business is important, giving your body a break is so important as well. And you want to think of it like charging a phone battery, because if you're on your phone constantly and you don't charge it, the battery is eventually going to die. And if you don't give it time to charge, then it's not going to be able to work again at its speed it wants to work at, and you're not going to be able to go on your phone and use it. It's as simple as that. And the same thing applies with business and fitness, funnily enough. You know, if you don't give yourself a break from the gym, if you don't give your body and your central nervous system a break from resisting against weights and training hard, then you're going to burn out, you're going to get injured, which obviously isn't good for business, right? Because then that may affect your performance in on the desk, on the laptop, right? So that's also another thing. The next reason as to why spending less time in the gym is better than spending more time in the gym is because of the energy you get back from the gym. Now, you may have the belief that because you're expending energy in the gym, you're going to be more tired and that's going to affect your work and everything like that. However, you need to think about it from moving blood flow perspective, putting yourself against pain and discomfort and challenging yourself mentally, right? And we all know what happens when you embrace delayed gratification. You get happy hormone releases, serotonin releases, right? You get positive dopamine, and that's only going to give you energy, right? Some people say that they have the most energy when they're at their busiest. It's because they're doing what they need to do and they're just so focused, right? And it's the exact same thing with the gym. However, if you're spending so much time in the gym, it can reach a point of diminishing returns where it actually starts to sap energy out of you. If you're in the gym for 3 hours, 3 fucking hours, right? And you're moving weight, it can just get draining. And if you're in the gym for the less time, as I said before, you're going to be able to push harder and not fuck about. And that's going to give you a positive energy release, right? And you're going to go back to work, or, you know, if you go to the gym in the morning, for example, which I've been doing over the past 3 years, you're going to get to work and you'll be like, fuck yeah, I've got a gym session in before 9 a.m. I feel buzzed, I feel ready to go. Blood flow's going to be flowing, right? And you're just going to be ready to attack the day. So that's another reason. So the moral of the story is that you can spend 3-4 hours a week, sometimes even less time in the gym a week. And if you do it right and you make the most of every minute and your output is of such high quality, your sets are so good, your reps are controlled and you can fully feel the muscle and you're properly isolating everything, then you are going to make so much progress in such little time when your priority isn't even to build muscle, but the intention of integrating fitness into your life is to help you with your performance in business, and you still get in your best shape of your life if you do it properly. It's a win-win, right? And I don't want this video to drag on, so I'm going to end it here. But if you don't want to waste the next 6 months of your time trying to figure out how to do things in the most efficient way possible, and you want to be like Corey, who...
I guess before this program, I was just kind of winging it. Like, we have an office gym, so I would just use that and do whatever workouts that came to mind every day. I was working out 6 days a week. And then when I found Ryan, he was like, well, here, I have an idea for you. What if we went from 6 days a week to 4 focus days a week? So that way you can have more time to focus on work. I noticed by having the program in place that by doing progressive overload every week, my strength was going up and then the weight was coming off.
Then I'm going to leave a link in the description where you can apply to work with me one-on-one, and we can get you sorted and we can discuss how I can help you as an established busy entrepreneur yourself, and apply these principles to your own life, right? So with that being said, thank you very much for watching. If you want to stay around for more videos like this, I'm going to be uploading every day this month and just speaking, having a chat. And give me feedback on the videos as well, please. I'd really like feedback. But yeah, if you want to stay around for the ride, a subscription would mean a lot. A like and obviously a comment and all of that jazz that every YouTuber asks for at the end of the video. Alright, see you in the next one.